All right, welcome to Saturday Morning Movie Podcast. I believe this is episode 4?
I have no idea.
Or 5? This is episode 5 because we did the Dune one.
Yeah.
So this is our 5th episode. This is the SpiderMan ones, I guess, if you want to call it. We're doing...
the Rami SpiderMan trilogy.
Yeah, so some of you may know the SpiderMan movies have been re-released in the theaters. They're doing each one every week up until the most recent one, No Way Home.
Did you get to see any of them in the theater?
I did not.
Yeah,
when you live in a small town and there's one theater showing it, within a 30-mile radius at one time, it's kind of hard. It's kind of hard to manage.
Plus, I was on vacation.
Yeah, I mean,
for like a whole week in Florida, so
yeah.
I didn't. I could have went while I was there, but nobody else wanted to go.
Yeah,
so I was like, all right.
Do you want to see a movie alone on vacation?
Not really.
I almost did that too on my honeymoon, back in January, but the wife didn't like that idea. So, but yeah, so we've had a little bit of a break. Vinny was on vacation.
Yep.
We got another setup going right now, trying something out. We keep trying different shit, seeing what works. We've been troubleshooting the mics for the past couple weeks. It's another thing, hopefully we might even have a different table next time. We'll see how things play out.
We're still figuring shit out.
So yeah, while the production level stays low, the content is high quality.
There you go.
Yeah.
I like that.
So yeah, so we figured for these Spider-Man movies though, we kind of wanted to talk about them as kind of like individual, like, okay, Tobey's trilogy, Andrew's 2 movies, then we'll talk about Tom's 3 movies. But starting off, we wanted to start with the OG, the ones that we grew up with. But before we get into that, how you been, man?
I'm good.
Yeah.
Work is better.
Yeah.
Because I'm on my new shift now.
Yeah.
So that's great. Like, I work today, but I work second shift now, so
yeah,
it's more consistent.
Mornings are free.
Mornings are free, so I'm more open. Like, whenever Dom's available, I can do it. So.
Yeah.
And then besides that, like I was on vacation in Florida. That was fun. I got burnt pretty bad, and then I got bit up like crazy. Like,
bugs are bad down there?
Dude, there are these things. I mean, if any of you are watching in Florida, you know, but they're called no-see-ums because you don't see them. But they're like mosquitoes, but they're so small you can't see them. And if they're mainly by water, and it's usually like in the evening or in the morning. Yeah. And my feet were it literally looks like I was shooting heroin. Like,
holy shit.
Like little tiny red dots all over you, and they itch like fucking crazy.
That's crazy, yeah, dude.
But I mean, other than that, man, same old shit,
Yeah. You started X-Men 97.
So good.
Yeah, I also started watching that. So far, so good. I'm almost caught up while this is being recorded, I believe the 8th episode just came out, or the 9th? The 9th episode just came out. I'm up to episode 7 at this point, so I'll probably watch those 2 when we're done here. But what are you thinking so far?
I think it's the best thing Marvel's done since, like, Endgame.
I think it's really good. I think the writing is, like, every episode, even the ones that are, like, kind of whatever, they all feel important. Like, it's all like, okay, we're like getting somewhere, because I feel like a lot of times too with, like, especially an animated show, things can feel like,
where is this going?
Yeah, exactly.
That's kind of how I feel with Invincible a little bit.
I'm not up to date on it.
Okay, I won't spoil anything, but from what I've heard from, like, the comics, the show is moving quick, like, through the comics, but at the same time, it feels like nothing's, like, big. It's like they're not leading up to anything really. I mean, people might disagree with that because obviously there's gonna be, like, the Viltrum War and the Invincible War, which I know is a big part of the comic. Yeah. I think season 3 might be the Invincible War, or they might tease it at the end of season 3.
Okay. I'm not really familiar with
the Invincible War. Is basically like
anything.
Every mark from every other dimension comes to our Mark's dimension, and they're all evil. Basically, the Mark in the show that we know is the only version of Mark that didn't side with his father. Yeah. So every other version comes to their world, and he has to, Mark and, like, all the good guys have to fight all himself, basically. Yeah. and it fucks up Earth, and it's really bad. But
yeah, I did enjoy Invincible, especially like I said, I've only seen season 1. I haven't watched season 2, but this like X-Men '97,
the writing's very good.
It's very mature. Like
Yeah.
it's not like it's not your typical like kids.
It takes
show.
itself seriously. It takes the characters seriously.
Also, this is probably some of the best like not animated action scenes I've seen. Like very reminiscent of like OG Avatar or
Yeah.
like Legend of Korra or something like that. Where
Yeah.
I think you have to disclude anything that's made in Japan because they're on like a different level when that comes
Sure.
to that shit. But like I think an American-made show.
Well, that's what people are complaining about with Invincible. Is like people think that the animation has gone down
Mhm.
since season 1, and like the fights and stuff don't look as good. And but this show X-Men is like,
Yeah, but you know what's funny about that is like everyone begging for the next season to come out, and then like when the animation's like not as good, everyone's like, "Oh, this is fucking dumb."
I know
It's
people are so stupid.
it's like okay, like you can't have it both ways, man.
Yeah, let them take their time.
Yeah.
Make it
And I get
look
it.
good.
I get it in this day and age, like hype dies down quick, but like that's how you got to build the hype back up. You know, like you got to release teasers, and I feel like just even the marketing for season 2 of Invincible was not that great.
Not really.
It's funny because it's like Amazon usually goes hard with that kind of stuff. Like it's like Fallout, like the rollout they had for that shit, like was insane.
And I've heard, I haven't watched it yet, but
Yeah.
I've heard great things about that show.
We're pretty familiar with the Fallout games.
Yeah, I've played like 3
Mhm.
and 4.
I played a little bit of 3, a little bit of New Vegas, and I played most of 4. I mean, so I'm familiar with the lore, and I do enjoy those games.
I'm not like a Fallout fan.
Yeah, but like I've heard though, the sales of those games have gone back up because it's inspiring people to play the game. So
Especially 76.
yeah, I heard 76 is actually not bad anymore. I don't know if you guys remember when that game first came out, like it was getting shit on.
Yeah,
dude.
it was kind of dog shit.
Yeah, but I heard it's a lot more of like every Fallout game is kind of a little bit different. Like Fallout New Vegas is very like RPG heavy.
Yeah.
While Fallout 76 I've heard is like very action heavy, and it's all about like shooting and like more of that aspect of the game. And I remember Fallout 4, that's the game I remember the most. The new feature they added in that was like crafting your kind of like your they put a big emphasis on crafting like your little bases and shit like that.
I hated that shit though.
Yeah, not the biggest fan of that.
They tried to do that in Starfield too,
Mm.
and I did not care at all about
I never
that.
played that.
I played it for like 2 hours, and I never touched it again because I was very disappointed.
Yeah, so yeah, we both been watching X-Men '97.
Yep.
Me and my wife just finished rewatching Game of Thrones. We're getting ready for House of the Dragon season 2 next month, dude.
Can't wait.
I'm so excited for that show. I think House of the Dragon season 1 was better than Game of Thrones season 1, dude. Like it was.
Hot take.
Yeah, I might have said it on the podcast before, and like I said before, I think is like they had all the advantages over Game of Thrones, where like they learned from the mistakes of that show, and of course they have a bigger budget, better technology at this point, because I think Game of Thrones,
It's pretty old.
it's like more than a decade old, the first season at this
I think
point.
so, yeah.
At least like 12, 13 years.
Yeah. But no, season 1 of House of the Dragon was great. I
Yeah.
absolutely loved it.
I saw it too. The original creators of Game of Thrones, they came out with a new show on Netflix, 3 Body Problem.
Okay.
A couple actors from Game of Thrones, like what's that one dude's name? Who's like, he's Jon Snow's like squire, the fat.
Oh, Sam.
Yeah, he's in that show. I've heard good things. It's based off a book, like a science fiction book. I have heard though that like it didn't get a lot of views, and like so they're worried that Netflix might cancel it after 1 season, which is not unlike them to do to good shows. So we'll see what happens with that.
Oh, the Boys trailer came out, by the way.
I haven't watched that. That's another show I'm really behind on, dude. I haven't even watched season 3 yet.
What?
Yeah,
Oh
I know,
my
I know.
god.
I'm like, dude, with TV shows, like it takes.
I know, yeah. I'm not usually like up to date with TV. I'm always like the last one
Yeah,
on the
exactly.
train for a TV show.
Except for, I think the one show I was on the train from the beginning on was Stranger Things. I remember that.
I think that's because like so many people talked about it that it was like
we jumped on that pretty early. I'm pretty sure.
But like Game of Thrones, like the show had finished before I even started watching it.
I think I started watching it right around when season 7 came out. It was definitely before season 8 when I watched it. When I first watched it. But yeah, and then what else do we have? So Boys trailer came out. We had the Superman reveal, the Superman suit reveal. We were talking a little bit about that before. What are your thoughts?
Okay. It's one image.
Yeah.
So it's just one image. So based off of just that picture, I don't hate it. I like it. I really like the symbol.
Yeah. That's something too.
It's like Kingdom Come kind of.
That's something I've been defending since it was revealed. Like
the symbol's sick.
A lot of people are saying like, oh, that's like the Kingdom Come symbol. Like okay, it's probably one of his best ones. Why not use it? Like, you know what I mean? Like
I like the design. Like he incorporated a lot of different versions of the symbol. Like the S shape itself is like Kingdom Come, but then it has the yellow background.
Yeah.
Then it's got the thin yellow border around the outside, which is like the OG, like very first issue Superman symbol. The suit has the collar, which I know a lot of people fucking don't like.
See, but even just looking at the image, like it's not like, you know, like New 52 collar where it's like a, you know, it's up his neck and it's literally like just goes a little bit up his neck more than like some of the others. Like, you know, Henry Cavill, he's got his like fucking chest hair popping out of it. Like that, it's just like a different, like it's a slightly above.
I don't see any problem.
It's like going from like a tank top to a t-shirt. Like
from what everyone's saying, their criticisms of the suit is this: there's too many lines in it. They're saying like, oh, it's the MCU effect, where like they take a classic suit and they just add a bunch of lines and make it look realistic.
Yeah.
I think the way he's sitting in the picture, it's hard to really tell.
Well, that's what some people are saying, like, oh, it's not tight enough, but like he's like leaned over, so there's gonna be like wrinkles in the suit.
I mean, if you look at the cuffs, there's a gap, so it's not like skin tight.
And here's the thing too, is like, who's to say that this isn't like his first suit or something like that? You know what I mean?
Well, okay.
And even if it's not, I need to see the whole thing.
I love the boots.
Yeah.
You could see he's got the trunks, which is what you wanted. I don't give a fuck like if he had the trunks or not. To me, that doesn't make or break the suit. For me, this is what makes a good Superman suit. It has to be simple yet iconic, and the colors have to be right.
Yeah. So
as long as the colors are good and it's not like too like intricate designed, I will like it no matter what. And I really want the gold S on the fucking cape.
I'm a fan of that too. Honestly.
I like it. The cape better be fucking long. That's all I have to say. I know you like the fucking All-Star Superman, you know, like booty cape. I don't mind it, but I love the long flowy cape. I've always liked the long flowy cape.
So for everyone who doesn't know, like Superman is my favorite superhero. Yeah. He's been my favorite superhero for
like ever, bro.
For a while. Like when I was young, you like the Hulk, but you know, you're a kid and you want to like smash shit. But,
sure.
But basically, since I actually could like read comic books, I've always loved Superman, and I do consider myself something of a Superman purist. I'm not the biggest fan of like extra padding or things like that in the suit because he's Superman. He doesn't need fucking pads. Like, but like I like you said, there's some key things that I think every Superman suit needs to have. It needs to be iconic, and I think this S that they chose stands apart too, so that like it's not too similar to any of the other ones. It's something that we're seeing for the first time on screen, so I think that helps. The trunks help because I think it's just like when you think of Superman, that's what you think of. I think
he always has the trunks.
Yeah, and the colors, like he's dirty, obviously in the picture, so
and the lighting's bad.
Yeah, and
it's dark.
Also, like I think context does matter. Like, is this because we still haven't seen the full thing? But did Martha Kent make the suit for him? Is this like a suit that was in his pod? We don't know yet. I'm curious to see where they're going to go with that.
So since you're the Superman guy, what's the official lore on that? Like, because I've heard both.
It depends on what you're reading or watching. Like the kind of main thing that like a lot of comics go with is that these are like his suit is all of his like blankets and shit that he was wrapped in and like just like pieces of that were in the ship that like Martha Kent kind of like stitched together and made for him. That's like the main thing that people go with. But like there's like in Zack Snyder's, the suit's just fucking there for him. Like
because that's what the Kryptonians would wear.
That's what they wore. But
dude, oh sorry, I don't mean to cut you off.
No, you're good.
But I'm just glad. Like I really liked the Man of Steel design. I don't know how you feel about it. The only thing I didn't like about that costume is how the suit almost looked like scaly.
See, and
like the texture of the suit, I didn't like that much.
That's the thing is, it's interesting you say that because I think the suits got better, but they got, I feel like, more like that. If that makes sense. Like I really like the Man of Steel, or not the Batman v Superman suit because they lighten up the colors a little bit. They like I saw behind the scenes they had Henry Cavill like wear, it's like a silver undersuit, and then like this costume like stretches over that, so like behind it's almost like shimmering through it.
Okay. Yeah. And
so it's like it gives it this really cool look, and it, like the colors really just popped on that one. I think Man of Steel, like
it's a little dark.
Zack Snyder went like a little. Remember the first reveal photo for Man of Steel where it's him in the bank?
Yeah.
That photo is so like muddy and dark with like you can barely tell the difference between like his suit versus the background.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but wasn't the original Man of Steel S? There was no yellow.
Yeah, in the very first images there were, and a lot of people were upset about that.
It was just the red and then the blue of the suit behind it.
Mm-hmm.
And everyone was like, I don't know about that.
And that's the thing. Even if James Gunn decided to do that, if it looks good, I don't mind because Superman's had no red border before in the OG, or he's had the black background
I kind of like the black
in the cartoon or in Kingdom Come.
I love the Kingdom Come suit.
Yeah,
so that's like might be my favorite suit.
Like you were saying, my favorite suit is the All-Star suit because it's just like it takes like the best thing. It's like that's my favorite look of Superman too, where he's just like this like big ass like beefy dude. Like it's just like goofy, but
that's what he's supposed to be.
Yeah. Have you seen Corn Sweat, dude? He's getting fucking huge.
He's big. Yeah, he's big.
But I'm just like super excited about this movie. Like, and
I don't know if this is selfish of me, but I really, really, really want the John Williams score to be in the movie.
Really?
Yes.
But the thing is I want to see who they get. Like, imagine if they got like a good ass composer, who would be?
They had Zimmer for,
and then Junkie XL. That guy took over. With Han, he's like
who the fuck is that?
He made all like the like techno kind of music in Justice League and like he did the Snyder Cut, my bad, or like in Batman v Superman where like it's like he came up with the Wonder Woman theme.
Okay.
Like, like I didn't mind that music, but like who would be someone good?
John Williams.
Yeah, I mean he's done it before.
No, just use the old score.
But I'm saying who should score the movie besides that score?
Oh, I don't know. That's a good question.
I see, and I agree with you. I want to hear that song in the movie, but I don't know if it should be like the opening. I want to hear like an original. So, because I didn't mind Hans Zimmer's like theme that he came up with, like the like when he first flies.
That was cool.
It's solid. Like I like the kind of drums and.
But
like,
I just when the movie starts, I want to hear that fucking theme.
I do love that theme.
It's so good.
That's the thing though, is that you know what it does? It just reminds you of like. That's Superman, and you think of like you think of Marlon Brando, but like I almost want like them to do their own thing.
To me, that score just makes me think of Superman.
Sure,
not necessarily the Christopher Reeve Superman.
Mm-hmm.
It does, but I'm saying that score is so iconic. It just when I hear that, I think of Superman.
Yeah, but
anyway,
yeah. Honestly, someone who I'd really like to see tackle the score, who I think could do something interesting, is Trent Reznor and Atticus Ross.
Okay, I don't know dick about composers.
So like they did, what did they do? They did The Social Network.
Oh, okay, yeah.
They did. They just did Challengers. Did you see that yet? With Zendaya?
No.
Pretty fucking good, dude. But the music in that, dude, is the same fucking thing. So every time the music starts, it's just like it's this like techno like disco shit. But it's good. Like it's really good. Solid movie. You should watch it. I really liked it. But yeah, I think they could do an interesting job. I mean, I would honestly like to see like Danny Elfman maybe tackle the Superman score. Like, I don't know what he's done recently.
I have no idea.
But he's no stranger to Superman.
Did he not do Superman Returns?
I don't know.
Or did John Williams do it?
I I don't know who they got for that, honestly.
Because I know they used the original
They did
John
use the
Williams in the opening, but
yeah. But Danny Elfman, he's no stranger to superheroes. He did the Spider-Man movies, which we're going to talk about eventually.
fantastic score.
He did the OG Batman '89, which that's like another classic. Like, so I think he could do something interesting. He also did Hulk 2003. Dun, 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 dun.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that, but yeah. Oh yeah, you just watched.
I just watched Hulk 2, and it's really interesting, dude, because like it's funny because like for some reason, I mean, it was the only Hulk movie that there was, and Hulk when I was a kid was my favorite superhero, but like. It's not a movie that like you should like rewatch all the time, but like I watched that movie religiously when I was a kid.
Yeah.
And like I definitely didn't understand the whole movie.
Yeah. I remember watching it as a kid with you a lot, and like all we cared about was like the fight scenes and shit.
Yeah, and then like the 2008 Incredible Hulk came out, and that became my new favorite Hulk. And then when I would rewatch the OG, I remember it was boring, and so I finally gave it another shot.
What did you think of fucking the Incredible Hulk?
So I was gonna say that I think honestly that this is better than the Incredible Hulk. Like I think the Incredible Hulk is like, it's just so safe. It's like whatever, dude. It's everything that you would think is in it. Like okay, like he's in Brazil and then
he's hiding, he's on the run, then he meets up with Betty again,
and then there's the military comes after, and it's just like there's nothing.
I still like the casting for Ross though.
Yeah, he was really good. Rest in peace to that guy.
He's dead,
dude. What? This is old news. Fucking Harrison Ford's replacing him in the new Captain America movie.
I knew that, but I didn't realize it was because he was dead.
Yeah, he died.
Oh, I'm an idiot.
Yeah, he died last year, I think, or it was 2 years ago. Man, I can't remember. But yeah, so the 2003. I also like the casting of Ross in that movie. Sam Elliott as Ross.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, he does a good job. But
I forgot about him.
Yeah,
dude.
They're both good, honestly. Like. That'd be funny if they got Sam Elliott to come back instead of Harrison Ford.
That would be
just like he shows up. It's like, wait a minute.
That would be awesome, though.
Yeah, like I don't know, but and he's not gonna have the mustache. They already showed a clip at. They showed a clip of the new movie or something. He
doesn't have the mustache.
And fucking Sam, the new Captain America, asked him like, "So you shaved or something?" And it's like they kind of make a joke about it, and like. Yeah, I just would have preferred Sam Elliott with the mustache.
Yeah,
as much as I like Harrison Ford. So going back to the 2003 Hulk movie, it's like, dude, the beginning, like, it doesn't tell you anything. It's like, it just shows you what's, like, when he's a kid and, like, you know there's something going on. Like, you know that his dad gets, like, fired and he makes the explosion happen. And you know something, but, like, the intro ends with, like, remember that it always focuses on that door and then the door opening. So it ends where it's, like, the black door. There's nothing there, and he wakes up from a dream, and it's like there's one scene of like teenage Bruce Banner. I don't know if you remember that, and his like adopted mom. Because remember, his name's not Bruce Banner in that movie; it's Bruce Kranitz, or like it's something with a C.
I didn't remember that,
dude. Yeah, because he got adopted because he doesn't remember. This is what's crazy about this movie, dude. He doesn't remember any of that stuff happening with his dad. That's
he
like
has like dreams about it.
Yeah, so he thinks that his parents died when he was a kid.
Oh,
and this is what I want to get into is because we're going to talk about the Spider-Man movies. I do miss a time like with this movie and with Raimi's movies where like comic accuracy was like not that important. Like who really gives a fuck? Because it lets the director kind of take more creative freedoms and like kind of do their own and like really shape the world and like the movie how they want it.
I agree, because if you think about it, comics, right? Mm-hmm. When you get like a new writer that's good, like, oh, I'm gonna make a Spider-Man comic, it's his interpretation of Spider-Man.
Exactly.
He could keep the OG story if he wants, or he could change it entirely. So when a director is gonna make, let's say, a Spider-Man movie, I want him to kind of have creative freedom. Make it like Spider-Man, but do what you want with the character. As long as it's a good movie, I'll be on board with it.
So it's exactly what we were talking about though with Superman, where there's so many different like origins for the character because every person, like you said, has a different perspective. And you look at a lot of superhero movies, especially Marvel movies nowadays, it's like directors are getting fired left and right because of creative differences and what the studio wants. Where at this point, in the early 2000s, it was like superhero movies were a gamble. So you trusted a good director with your vision, Sam Raimi. Ang Lee, who, did Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon, he did fucking Brokeback Mountain, like a good director. And I honestly, like, that's what I respect most about the movie is, like, you can...
It does its own thing.
Yeah, like, it's very jarring in the beginning. It's very overacted, too. Like, Eric Bana, like, he's doing way too much. Like, but I think it's on purpose. Even, like, Sam Elliott, like, he's, like, pissed off.
All the time, yeah.
Or, you have the one douchebag, the blonde-haired dude, who, he's in American Psycho, and he's in this. Or, even Nick Nolte, which I said in my Letterboxd review, like, watch it for him alone, because, like, he's just doing whatever the fuck he wants.
Yeah,
like,
bro, Nick Nolte's crazy.
So it's almost like a play, kind of like that. And also, I mean, just, like, the way it's shot, like, you're never going to see a movie like that again, where, like, every shot is, like, a comic book, basically. And also...
I like that shit.
Yeah, and the other thing I said about the movie was, like, you're never going to... The way Ang Lee, like... Because the whole movie, if you don't remember... is all about this childhood trauma, and the Hulk is the trauma that's inside of him, because he blocked all that out when he was a kid. He doesn't remember his parents, and then finally, towards the end of the movie, it's revealed that, like, Nick Nolte killed his mom, and it's this traumatic event that he's kind of just blocked from his memory. And that's what the Hulk is, and you've never seen in a movie where, like, the Hulk is, like, embodied as, like, something
trauma.
Like a real rage, and that's what he is, and I thought that was really cool. And yeah,
and I like that he gets bigger and bigger.
Yeah, like,
and
that's something from the comics. Where the angrier he gets, the stronger he gets. Like, there's shots where, like, he, like, grows his fucking eye. Remember when he's trying to, like, he puts him in the foam, and he's trying to, like, he's, like, growing his eye so that he won't it's, like, crazy, dude.
I remember that.
Yeah. And, like, the Hulk in the movie, like, he looks really good sometimes. Like,
and then other times
he looks like
Play-Doh.
He looks like human Shrek. Shrek 2. Like, just, like, fucking, like, mewing. Like, you're like, what the... But, like, the shot when he, like, breaks out of the water tank, that still looks really good, dude. And he's like... Remember in that movie, too, they, like... This is, like, a little detail. Like, I remember when I was a kid, like, they make it dark, and then Ross is like, show him the way out, and that's like, I don't know why, but when I saw him, like it's just something from my childhood I remembered, like, oh yeah, like I remember that part. And him just like sprinting and like jumping in the desert, like,
it's cool.
There's a lot of cool shots, even when he fights the dogs, like in the trees.
That was sick.
Yeah, a lot of good moments. Like, it's not a good movie. Like, I'll say that. Like, it's overacted. It's paced really weirdly, and like. But it's enjoyable though. Like, there's a lot of there's things in there, and you appreciate the craft involved, and I think the ending too. Like,
so you appreciate the reason you like it better than the Incredible Hulk is it took risks, and it's its own thing. And Incredible Hulk is very safe.
We'll get into it. It's why I like Amazing Spider-Man 2 more than Amazing Spider-Man 1, because it took risks.
All right, I gotta talk about Spider-Man.
Yeah, we've been going all over the place.
Let's get into it.
So we'll start with Spider-Man 1.
Yeah.
What kind of started it all. So, and just real quick with these movies, like, my kind of relationship with them, just I like to talk about, is, like, we've kind of been watching these since we were young. I remember we just watched Fantastic Four, Rise of the Silver Surfer, and they didn't play a Spider-Man 3 trailer, so we snuck into a different theater where they were playing it, and we just watched the trailer for Spider-Man 3, the first trailer where the symbiote, like, crawling up.
He's sleeping, I think.
Yeah, then it goes on his eye, and then that's when it cuts just to the title, and that we were fucking hyped for Spider-Man 3, dude.
Yeah,
and then
because I think the reason we were is because I'm pretty sure we watched the '90s Spider-Man cartoon a lot. Right?
We watched the '90s cartoon. I remember for my 5th birthday, I got a Spider-Man 2 cake. We both were like
huge
Spider-Man people. Now he's like my second favorite superhero. He's always been my second favorite. I just can never put him at the first, but that's just me.
So for the longest time, Spider-Man was my favorite superhero. But I think now it might be Superman.
Really?
Yeah.
You're jumping on board, huh?
Because I just like. It's not even. I just like what Superman like represents and what he embodies, the best parts of humanity.
See, and to me, the two best superheroes at like what they kind of represent are Superman and Spider-Man.
Yeah.
Spider-Man represents the everyday person.
Mm-hmm.
Could be anybody that gets bit by that spider and
chooses to be a hero even when his life is terrible, which is all of Spider-Man too.
And then Superman he's like the ideal of what
humanity can be.
Yeah, and I love those two. Like those are always at the core of good Superman and Spider-Man stories. Yeah, and I, you know, as we got kind of into our teenage, preteen years, I think we kind of like the Amazing Spider-Man movies came out, and we kind of tried to disassociate from these movies. I know I did, at least, where like
from the Raimi ones.
Yeah, like where
I used to. There was a long period where I hated them.
Well, yeah,
I thought they were cheese.
I think I can speak for myself. I wanted Andrew Garfield Spider-Man to be my Spider-Man. Like, you know what I mean? Like, those that's not my Spider-Man, but this is my Spider-Man now.
I literally went through a phase in high school where all my outfits were inspired by Andrew Garfield and Amazing Spider-Man 2.
I mean, he was dripping, bro. Like, he swagged out.
Back then, he's fit. He was cool. But now, I aspire to be Toby.
Yeah.
Like, I just want that dad, dork look.
Yeah.
I don't even care.
Yeah.
But, okay, so Spider-Man 1.
Spider-Man 1. Dude, like I said, I have a lot of respect for this movie, just like I do for the Hulk, where, like, it takes
such a gamble.
It takes such a gamble where it's like, because you got to think before that point too, like, no one had even tried to do a Spider-Man movie. No, and like you had the Batman movies. No one had even tried to take a superhero movie seriously up until that point. And I don't want to say that Raimi takes it seriously, because that's not his style. I think if
he takes nothing seriously.
And that's the thing is, I think now that we're older, we could look at these movies through that lens where it's like, he really doesn't take anything seriously. Like, I mean, you look at the Evil Dead movies, Army of Darkness, Drag Me to Hell.
But he takes Spider-Man being a hero seriously.
Exactly, and that's the thing is, I think he's always been so good at having the movie itself be kind of a joke and like you should.
But he makes you care though.
But then like he has these moments in there where you're like, fuck, like he knows how to like go back and forth between those.
He's
tones.
really good at that. And
like in this movie in particular, like I think that's like the big thing I think I got on. I didn't go to the theater, but I rewatched the movies. This rewatch, I think the biggest thing I got from it was like he sets it up from the beginning that like these are gonna be kind of a goof, like, you know what I mean? And I think you're supposed to watch them that way, just like you would watch any other one of his movies. And you have in the beginning like he's the monologue of Peter. Hold on, the Danny Elfman fucking score. I can't forget that. I listen to this song like just when I'm bored or like.
By the way, I miss when movies used to have like an opening title intro with the credits, this intro was great.
You know, it just works especially for like a superhero movie. I feel like that's how you like get into it,
right?
Dude. Like
Superman, Spider-Man.
Yeah, like you have to have that good theme, and this movie has a great theme. And then you get the monologue, and then he's chasing the bus
right away, showing how shitty Peter's life is.
Yeah,
he's a loser. He missed the bus.
Yeah.
And then he gets on the bus driver fucks with him.
And that's the thing is, I right away he sets up how like nobody likes this guy, like not even the nerds like Peter. Like, that one chick's on she's like, like, dude,
the fat guy with the donut.
Yeah,
you know.
Yeah. Flash trips him. It's just right from the beginning. You see what's being set up, and then I love the fucking. When he gets bit and they go to the science place, and me and you've talked about this for years.
Dad, I don't want to come on the rolls.
That?
Harry?
Yeah.
Because you flunked out of every private school I ever sent you to.
Yeah. No, but me and you have talked about the fucking teacher and it's funny because I've been on Twitter the past couple weeks, and like other people have been talking about like, what's with this fucking guy? Like, but me and you have been talking about this like forever. He's like, one is he looks like their age, and that's thing, and that's what's also hilarious about this movie
is they're all like 30.
In Spider-Man 2, it's 2 years after the first one, so they're all like 20, and like Harry looks like he's like 30.
Yeah,
you're telling me that Peter is a 20-year-old kid? And that's what's funny is like it's not, you're not supposed to take it like super seriously. It's just like a comic where
the next person who talks will fail this course.
Yeah, so the teacher. Yeah, or like when fucking Harry is talking to MJ and he comes over, you were talking during that woman's entire presentation. Let's talk about this. Remember after Peter gets bit too, where you hear he's like, Parker, let's do it.
Yes. I love too how Peter and Harry are talking about MJ, and Harry's like, or I'm sorry, Peter's talking about like some nerd shit about spiders, and Harry's like,
what makes you think I want to hear about
yeah,
that?
and then Harry tries to use that with MJ.
I like how they set up the relationship right away. Like it's a lot of fun. Like and just even like when they first get there and like Peter thinks MJ's waving to him.
Dude, so bad. Because we've all been there.
Yeah, like
where like you think someone's waving at you and you wave back, but they're actually waving at somebody else. It's so relatable.
Toby gets a lot of hate, but he just plays like a fucking loser
really well.
Like,
yeah.
And that's the thing is, I think like he's not the most comic accurate Spider-Man, but like. What's a thing about Spider-Man before he gets bit by the spider is like
he's a fucking loser.
He's a loser. I mean, like, and maybe not in every comic, sure. Like in
Ultimate,
yeah, there's different interpretations and shit. But like, that's what I think of when I think of Spider-Man.
Yeah, he's a fucking loser.
Oh, straight up loser.
Straight up dork.
And then I love Aunt May and fucking Uncle Ben in this movie. Probably my favorite Aunt May.
Hey, Michelangelo.
Yeah. Fuck, gotta paint the kitchen. I forget what he says though, but it's don't start without me.
Don't start up with me.
Yeah, so good. Or their introduction, he's screwing the light bulb, and the Lord said, "Let there be light."
Just like the most like wholesome people.
Yeah, it's like I'm on my ass, man. When the senior electrician gets laid off after 35 years, what else would you call it? On my ass.
Yeah.
And then he's looking at the newspaper, computer
analyst, computer designer, computer. Geez, even the computers need analysts these days.
Yeah, I'm too old for computers. Like, just, it's so good. Like, just because if you've never like had grandparents or family members like this, people like this. Just very wholesome,
super wholesome, like very like honorable people.
Yeah,
morally right.
Yeah,
just everything like. Everything that you think of about Uncle Ben and Aunt May, that's what they are in that movie.
Yeah, so Peter gets bit by the spider, and
he's that like weird ass fever dream,
dude. And then like he's in the funhouse mirror where he's like it's like CG skinny him, and it's like it looks goofy. I mean, it's 2002, 2001.
Yeah, two.
Yeah, I can't really give it that much of a hard time. But yeah, he has like the fever dream and like. Raimi's got to incorporate his little, like, fucking scary type imagery.
Great filmmaking. As Peter is transforming, so is Osborn.
Yeah, and dude, it's so good, too, because, like, even, like, the scene, and that's why I love these movies, is, like, you can't tell, like, what's supposed to be funny and what's not, but, like, it's all funny. Like, it all works. Like, because even, like, his Goblin's transformation... He's like fucking. He takes the sip of the thing and slams it.
Yeah, like why did he have to do that?
And he's like in the gas, like fucking tweaking.
Dr. Strom, I fucking love him because he's such a fucking like weasel rat.
Yeah.
Like when the general comes to look at I've already seen the glider, and he rats out that they're behind, and like Norman looks at him like, "What? Shut the fuck up."
And then he's like, "I recommend going back to formula."
Back to formula.
And then even that's what I mean though, because even when he like Strom comes in, he starts giving him CPR, and he grabs his neck. It's funny. It is funny, like, but it works, dude.
But it's also creepy because first of all, Willem Dafoe is such a creepy guy.
But that's what I mean too. Like Nick Nolte in the Hulk, like. You really feel like Rami's just like, go for it. Like, do whatever you fucking want to do. Like,
just be creepy and crazy.
Yeah.
And Willem's like, all right.
It works, though. And,
fucking jumps up on the
thing. That shit's funny as fuck, but it really works.
It's so good.
But, like, it's like...
He's a psychopath, right? Mm-hmm. So he's gonna do like weird shit, and it's kind of funny, but it's also kind of creepy.
And it's just like Raimi sets it all up to where it's like this is a wacky kind of like there's gonna be goofy shit.
But you got to think of the concept of Spider-Man is wacky.
Yeah, and I like, and that's what I mean. We were talking about before, like when directors kind of like they want to add their own. I like how he approached it to where it's like because I'm setting all this up because once we get into Spider-Man 3. That's the context, is that it's supposed to be goofy. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, but like, I like how he has just creative reign and like his idea to do no web shooters. It's interesting. I don't know. I mean, it kind of makes sense. Like, I mean, spiders produce their own web. I mean,
why can't he? Right.
Yeah. I mean, and he just grows glands. I buy it. I mean, our dad always jokes that like the web should be coming out of his ass, but like, like it's it's fantasy. Like it's a
fucking superhero movie. Like if you're gonna give him all the other powers, why not give him the ability to produce his own webs, which ties into 2.
Yeah, and then it cuts into he wakes up from his dream and he's jacked.
2002 Jack.
Yeah. I mean, like he's pretty diced. Like I gotta give him respect. I mean, because Tobey Maguire's not a big guy.
No,
like, so
no,
I mean,
no.
You know, he did the work. You could tell. And
big change.
Ant-Man, Peter.
Yeah.
I'm getting dressed, Ant-Man. Yeah, that's later, but
yeah, that's later.
Change.
Big change. Fucking runs down the stairs like does like on the wall.
Oh, you feeling better?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then he's Is that no? He doesn't go to the library right away.
No, so that's when he does the painting thing with them. He says, "We got to paint the kitchen right after school," and then he's all right. Don't start with that. We talked about before, and he goes to school, and that's when shit starts getting weird though. Where like
teenagers, hormones.
Yeah. That's what he tells Aunt May. But he gets to school, dude, and when Mary Jane slips and he catches her.
That's first of all, that's all real.
It's all real.
Tobey Maguire actually catches all that shit. They had to do like 150 takes or some shit.
It looks sick though, like. And
he actually did it.
Mm-hmm. I like him. Like his powers are starting to come on. Where
the fucking fork stuck to his wrist, and he goes like this, and
he flicks the tray at Flash.
Yeah,
and then he walks out with
like,
it. Parker. And the tray like
it's stuck on the door. He's like trying to get it out,
and then it cuts to we're in the hallway, and like it's all this commotion, and then he gets his first spider sense, and that's a great shot, dude. Where it's like it's slow mo cutting all.
You see the fly.
You see the spitball, and then it's Flash's fist,
and then he dodges it,
punches the locker.
Yeah,
and I mean, imagine like you're in high school, you see this fucking kid who's like a loser. Just like bobbing and weaving, and then help him, Harry, and he does the flip. Which one?
Yeah.
Yeah. And then
I don't want to fight you, Flash.
Wouldn't want to fight me neither. Yeah. And then his friend or whatever is like, all yours, man. And he pushes him, and that's when he's just swinging, dude. He's trying to knock him out. He's trying
to take his head off. Yeah. And Peter punches him across.
He grabs his wrist.
Literally punches him. He goes flying down the hallway, and then the teacher, I think, knocks his pudding on him. And it's just like a double whammy.
And then Peter's like, he's like got this like fucking look on his face, like holy shit.
This is the only thing I don't agree with is like, the one dude calls Peter a freak, but like I feel like if you were in high school and you saw that, you'd be like, dude, that was sick.
Well, that's what Harry does. He's like, Peter, that was incredible.
Yeah.
And then he runs away. Peter does, and that's when the little. It's a gross looking shot of like the little prongs.
But you get the Danny Elfman score, like wah, and then you see the fucking hairs come out. It is kind of gross. Dun, 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 dun,
that's
climbing
so
the wall.
Great.
Then he looks back. Woo!
Yeah, he's jumping on the roofs, and like they replay the same shot of him jumping over the roof.
Yeah,
it's whatever, but it's awesome.
You get that funny scene where he's trying to figure out
another great scene. Go Web, go. Fly!
Up and away, Web!
Shazam! Go Web, go!
Yep. He gives up and then just goes like that, and then it shoots out, and he figures out if I can catch it, and he swings, and
and then that's when he gets home late, and Uncle Ben paints the kitchen for him. And then that's when we get to like Uncle Ben and Aunt May kind of this conversation about how like they feel like they don't know him maybe, and like he's kind of changed.
They're worried about him.
Yeah, they're worried about him. So he needs to go to the library. Uncle Ben's perfect moment to have a good talk with him. Oh man, dude, it still is like hard to watch that scene of
it really is
of him. Uncle Ben drops him off, and he's hold on a second. He wants to talk to him, and Peter's trying to like I don't get.
He's in a hurry.
He's like, well, I need to talk to you, like basically.
And again, how many times like we've all been teenagers, right? When your parents are trying to talk to you about something serious and you just don't want to hear it. But you got more important shit. Like, it's very relatable.
What makes it even worse, though, to me is the fact that, like you said, like, your parents... Uncle Ben's, like, 75.
I know. He's an old man, dude.
And Peter's like, so stop pretending to be.
Yeah.
I know I'm not your father. Like, and he tells him off, but, like, it's...
And that's the last thing he says to him.
But to me, too, that's, like, the best with great power comes great... They say the line... that everyone is afraid to say now because it's so
you can't do it better.
It's so iconic in that movie.
You can't.
And it's just like, it's such like a heartfelt moment, and he tells him off and he leaves. But then it does go to the fucking wrestling scene, and this is what I mean, dude.
Bruce Campbell.
It's so goofy, like just like they get.
We don't have a featherweight division, small fry. Next,
Octavia Spencer, random cameo.
Yeah,
like just she's in this movie.
Yeah.
Like,
no, sign me up. All right.
Yeah. And then bone size
Macho Man, dude.
Like even getting him in the movie, just Sam Raimi knows what he's doing.
That was sick. Macho Man is the best.
Yeah. Bones up, bones. And everyone's got their shit, and then
Hate Freak Show.
Yeah. But before he goes out, he like tosses that other guy, and like he's walking by when Peter's signing up.
Oh God, my leg.
It's so good. And then he's behind the shadow, and Bruce Campbell's talking to him, and he's like,
What's your name, kid?
The human spider. The human spider.
That's it. That's the best you got.
That
sucks. The amazing SpiderMan. He got my name wrong.
Get out there! Like everyone's throwing shit
They're
at
throwing
him.
popcorn.
And then his like chicks that are with him is like, gonna chew you up and swallow you out, little man. Yeah, like shit like that. And then
He's gonna rip you apart one by one.
Yeah, the cage comes down, and there's that one dude in the audience. Cage! I didn't sign up for a cage match.
Yeah, they lock it. Oh, what does he say? Will the security guards please lock the cage doors at this time?
Yeah, and then then he's like, I didn't sign. Let me out. Hey, freak
Take the chains off. Yeah.
You're going nowhere.
I got you there for 3 minutes. 3 minutes of playtime.
Ding!
Yep.
And he runs at him, jumps up on the dude. It's just such a good like exchange. And to me, that's people say like Toby's not quippy enough. Like that's pretty.
That was pretty.
Yeah.
Good. That's a cute outfit. Did your husband make it for you?
Yeah.
He fucking jumps up.
What are you doing up there?
Yeah.
Staying away from you.
Yeah, right.
And then it's very comic-esque where he does the wrestling.
The chair.
Yeah, he fucking beat his ass.
Kick a spider ass.
Yeah, he gives him a crowbar and then he kicks him. Oh man.
I think it's a golf club.
Something like that. And he just like keeps kicking him. Yeah, and he wins.
runs at him, yeah.
And he wins.
Then the fucking bookie.
Then you have like fake Tony Soprano. He gives him $100. Dude, I forgot to even mention, like, before all that, you have the whole point of him going to the wrestling match is so he can get the car.
Yeah, okay, he's going through
because you
magazine. Look, he wants to impress MJ.
Because they have that little.
We forgot about that.
There's another good exchange where he's taking out the trash and like MJ's getting yelled at.
Because they're neighbors, by the way.
Yeah, and she's like, "You really scared us at school today." And it's funny because I watched Spider-Man, the regular Spider-Man one, because do you remember FX TV?
Mm-hmm.
Where they would play the Spider-Man, like any movie, and they would have the behind the scenes during like, or they would show like the extended versions of movies. Remember, I'm like, that's how I remember watching Spider-Man as a kid.
Yeah.
So watching the regular version, you don't get that scene where he's like, this is Spider-Man 2, by the way. I'm thinking of the wrong scene, but Spider-Man 2. Remember where he's like, he's like, oh, I'm seeing someone. He's like, oh, like. Therapy? That's not in the original.
Oh, yeah.
That little joke is out. I'm like, dude, where's that joke? And then she's like, no, more like, oh, companionship.
Maybe more.
More? Yes, but that's Spider-Man 2. I'm getting ahead of myself.
Okay.
But yeah, in this, they have that little moment where they're talking about what they want to do after school, and he's talking about go moving to the city, so is she, and talk about she wants to be an actress. I cried like a baby when you played Cinderella. Peter, that was first grade. Still.
Yeah.
And then Flash picks her up in the car, which kind of incites everything to where
cool car.
He needs $3,000 for I think it's like a Chrysler or something that he's looking at.
It's like a piece of shit.
Yeah, but he needs a fucking car.
Yeah.
And
so that's why he goes to the wrestling match.
And I think does he design the suit too at that point?
Yes.
I like that too, where like, don't get me wrong, the Rami suit does not look like something that a motherfucker could do with, but I like the fact that they make it look like he designed it. Like,
but it's still one of my favorite superhero costumes,
dude.
Ever.
Like, this is the first Spider-Man movie. You have to nail the Spider-Man suit, and it's like straight from the comics, but it has that like early 2000s like the raised webbing, and it's like in Spider-Man 2, it's very silver. In the first one, it kind of is.
It's more black.
It's more black, but like even just giving him like the silver lenses.
I love that the lenses aren't rounded.
Yeah,
They're just like triangles.
Even in Spider-Man 1, his lenses aren't like completely silver.
They're white.
Yeah, they're white.
They're more white.
Remember on the cover of Spider-Man 1, the DVD, how it was blue?
Mm-hmm.
It's not even like that in the movie.
Mm-hmm.
I don't get why it was like that.
I don't know.
But so back to though, he's talking to fake Tony Soprano.
Yeah, the bookie, and dude, he was supposed to win $3,000. He gives him $100.
What's this? Like, yeah. Ad said $3,000
for 3 minutes, and he pinned him in 2. So wouldn't that be $2,000 then?
So for that, you're lucky to get that.
I need that money.
I missed the part where that's my problem.
Yep.
And he walks out, and the
And
guy
then-
comes in to rob him. What the hell? And,
Put the money in the bag.
and then he lets him get away. Such a critical moment in the movie too. You don't even
You
realize.
see the guy running towards Peter, towards the elevator, and Peter just steps aside
It's
and
perfect,
lets him go.
because that's like the perfect.
And the
thing.
cop goes, "You could have tore the." Oh no, the bookie says that. The cop says, "What the hell's the matter with you? Let him go." And the
Yeah.
bookie runs up. It's like, "What the? You could have tore that guy apart. Now he's gonna get away with my money." I missed the part. That's my problem. He says it back to him.
Amazing Spider-Man tries to do the same thing. Not my policy.
Get the fuck out of
Fuck
here!
you, dude. It's not as good.
Oh wait, your daddy didn't give you milk money today?
Ah, come on, man. And that's what I mean. It's like, it's so perfectly done to where, like, yep, this makes sense. Like, this is the inciting moment of why he would become Spider-Man. He literally let this guy get away.
And then even in the elevator, he feels good about it. You could see he's smirking,
Yeah.
you know?
And then he gets downstairs and, that's my uncle!
Yeah, you just see a crowd gathered, and then Peter's like, what the fuck's going on? He realizes it's Uncle Ben, and he pushes through the cops and goes, and you get that awesome scene of Uncle Ben dying. It's still hard to watch.
Bader.
Yep.
Hey, I'm here, Uncle Ben. And they're both crying, and then you just get one of the police officers in the background says, "We got him heading blank on whatever road," and he gets fucking serious, and dope ass music starts playing. Yeah, and he's putting on the fucking mask, and then it does get a little goofy because it's like a PS2 cutscene.
Yeah.
It's all CG, whatever. I don't really. But then you have his first like real swing, which I think is a cool moment. The music kind of swells.
It's cool because you see Peter figure out how to swing as he's doing
he's flying towards the building,
and then he's got to shoot the web to go the other way. I mean, it was just come on.
And then I love the car chase. And,
bro!
And he jumps on top of the car, and the dude's like shooting.
And Peter's like, "Get the fuck out of here!" And he punches through the car.
Just the way where you can see his eyes, like he's pissed and like.
He punches through and his hand in the dude's face. He's like, "Ah!"
Yeah.
And then he's about to crash. Peter jumps off.
And then
he crashes and he goes in that like abandoned warehouse.
You get a great Rami moment where it's like where he's Spider-Man, he's hiding from him, and you just see his shadow. But
you get the shot of like the burglar, but in the back. So the burglar's in the foreground, and then in the I'm sorry. The burglar's in the background, and in the foreground you see the shadow of Peter like going across.
Or even like he's hanging upside down from the web, and you see the shadow go up, like, and then he fucking smashes his
through 2 windows,
Glass.
not just one. He does both.
Yeah, and then he
pulls a knife.
He jumps up on the
he pulls a knife on Peter. Peter kicks it out of his hand, and then it sticks in the wood, and then he uses it to kick him. It's great.
And then he like pulls out the gun and he breaks his wrist. It looks like. And then well, first he's like please, like what does he say? He says something because Peter's like, what about my uncle?
Just give me a chance.
Oh yeah, what about my uncle? Did you? And then he comes into frame and he realizes that it's him, and he pulls out the gun. See ya.
See ya.
And then he breaks his wrist, and the guy like trips and falls out the window. He doesn't kill him.
No, he does trip and fall, but then you get that cool shot, like the cops on the boat, like the spotlight pans up, and then there's Peter.
Hey, you up there?
Yeah.
Yeah, we got the place surrounded, and then it cuts back, and he's gone basically.
And then he's on the Chrysler Building, right?
Yeah, it just kind of, and then he finally goes home to Aunt May, and they both kind of have that moment. But yeah, kind of like skipping ahead, like so that's like. When he first, like, that's the inciting moment of him becoming Spider-Man. Then you got, like, graduation. Nothing really important happens then. And after graduation, though, you do have where, like, he's crying, and he's like, I miss him. They're talking about Uncle Ben. I think it's when he first pulls out the suit too. Is right after that scene.
He pulls out the drawing.
Well, yeah. So yeah, he opens the thing, and then you kind of get. Is that when you get Uncle Ben's voice?
Mm-hmm.
And he's like, He basically
remember that, Pete. Remember that.
Yeah, then it zooms in on the spider, and the spider becomes the next frame.
Yes.
And it's him swinging. It's
awesome.
So good.
Then you get that awesome montage.
Yeah, you get a nice montage
of him like saving people, and then you get. But I love how they get the civilians like interview.
And that's another really good thing about these movies, dude. Is like Raimi like really incorporating New York into the movies, and in this one, like you said, like he stinks, and I don't like him.
Yeah.
Or he's like. He's got 8 arms.
Sounds hot.
Sounds hot.
Yeah.
He dresses like a spider, looks like a bug. Maybe we should all just give him one big hug. Look out!
Becomes a spider.
Yeah.
And then you get that fucking shot, and he swings.
And then or it's like the newspapers, and he just walks in the frame. It's gone.
Spider-Man was here.
Yeah. And then it's like their apartment, and Harry and Peter and Norman comes to visit them, and you just get more kind of like it shows the Harry's and Norman's relationship is kind of weird, and then like fucking I heard he basically like he brings up this mystery girl because Peter sees her, remember, in New York.
Yes,
and she's
I
just got done with an audition. Like, look at you, you're doing it, MJ.
Yeah.
And then the fucking blue.
Miss Watson, I'm talking to you.
Yeah. Some guy in the cafe she works for comes out because she stole money or something, or miscounted the money, and
her drawer was short.
Yeah, she shows him that she's like, and she's seeing Harry. She kind of tells him, and she's like, "Don't tell Harry. I won't. Maybe I'll come by and have some of your Blue Moon coffee.
Yeah,
I like that. Don't tell Harry. I won't." Yeah. So then that's when it cuts to the apartment, and like Norman's like, "What's this mystery girl?" And Harry changes the subject.
Well, Peter's like, "I don't know, Harry hasn't mentioned her."
Yeah.
And Harry's like,
well, Peter...
Hey, Pete, you're looking for a job, right?
And then...
Dad, you can help him out? And Norman's like...
Yeah, he's ecstatic.
He loves Peter.
I'm something of a scientist myself. Yeah.
So what other skills do you have, Parker?
Thinking about some of the photography.
As he's looking at the newspaper.
Cuts to the Daily Bugle.
Which, in the paper, it says photographer needed. When he goes to... You get the best fucking...
intro.
Casting for any character ever, which is J.K. Simmons is J. Jonah Jameson.
I also love how like the Daily Bugle in general is like its own like little thing that's going on. You know, like you have like Betty Brant, the black guy, I'm drawing a blank on his name.
I don't remember either. And
then you have Raimi's brother, and then Jonah, but they're only at the Bugle. Like it's like its own. Every time you go there, it's like its own little like. Ecosystem of stuff that's like it's like you feel like it could be its own thing, like other movie that's happening. You know what I mean? Like it's so like it feels very lived in, and like these are real people. Especially like Jameson, like he's cartoonish, but it works. Mm-hmm. Like he's another guy who's just over the top, but it really makes sense. And like you said, best casting, even more like great humor. Like
good job, sir. Job.
Yeah. Oh, freelance.
Best thing for a kid your age.
Like, go get me some more pictures. Yeah. Or, crap.
Mega crap.
And then he's like, he like gets up and leaves, and then he's like,
sit down.
Deadline in like 12 minutes. All right, sit back down. And he's like, $200 basically, or.
Seems a little low.
Yeah. I can't remember all the lines.
Yeah, something like that.
Doing my best.
Yeah.
Yeah, so then, yeah, I mean, like, you have, like, a couple goblin things that are going on, like, it's...
Norman steals the fucking glider.
Yeah.
And then he blows up the fucking,
It's,
mech suit.
It's, like, Space Quest, it's a real company, I can't remember what they're called, but Aero Quest or something like that. Yeah. Their mech suit is ass, dude. Yeah. Like, I'd rather have the glider, I think, than whatever the fuck that is.
That thing looks like you can't move.
The general's just, like, doesn't like Norman, wants to see him get... And, he blows it up. And then, that's before the graduation, because remember the explosion transitions
into the graduation.
Such good shit, dude. And then,
Then you get the parade.
Well, yeah, so then they tell Norman that he's out. That he's no longer...
I started this company.
Yeah. You know how much I sacrificed?
Yeah.
You can't do this to me.
Yeah.
And then they basically say we're gonna announce it at the Unity Festival, and he kind of like he smirks and like it's an idea basically.
Am I?
Yeah. We're gonna announce that you're out at the Unity Festival. And it's like funded by Oscorp, the Unity Festival. It's kind of weird, but
yeah,
it's cool. And
I
like,
get the sense that's like a charity type thing that they do,
and they get like Macy Gray, who like was a popular singer
at
in
the time
in that moment, but like
Yeah.
looking back, it's like they could have got like anybody else,
like Sugar Ray.
like Scooby Doo.
Yeah.
Let's just put Sugar Ray in everything.
Yes.
Every early 2000s movie needs Sugar Ray.
Exactly, dude.
Yeah, dude, but fucking like great scene though, like where Peter's like taking pictures and he zooms in, he just sees Mary Jane and Harry like can see him, and he's like, "Hey, can you give me a drink?" Like,
well, no, Harry gives her shit for not wearing the black dress because my father loves black.
There's that too, and like maybe you like me no matter how I look.
You get like Harry's kind of an asshole, but I think you almost feel bad for him because you could tell it's because of his dad.
He wants to impress him. That's like what everything's about to him.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then you get like, oh, it must be a new float this year. Like it's coming in, like the glider.
That's our glider.
That's our glider.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then he like does a big like circle around, and then he fucking throws the bomb at the and like, and this is the thing I think is the detriment to the movie, like where when we get into like final scores, why the things that are not the movie's fault. Like this movie, when you compare to Spider-Man 2 and 3, everything is very like, okay, like that's a set, that like everything you could tell is like a set or like was filmed on a sound stage, where like they just don't have the freedom to like let things like, because like there's nothing in Spider-Man 1 that comes close to like the train fight or anything like, and that's all like out in the open, and even if some of it's CGI, like, you know what I mean, like it's Spider-Man 1 is missing a lot of those things where like even when like Goblin throws the bomb and like the
balcony's clearly made of like foam,
but and it's on chains too, you can see like the chains that are attached, and it's like I get it, like, but that's one of the things is it's more so like the technical limitations of the movie,
and probably that they didn't have as big of a budget either.
Yeah, I mean maybe, and like and obviously the visual effects are they're 2002 visual effects.
Yeah, what do you expect, right?
And also I think in this movie more like this is where it's the worst, is where like the first Goblin and Spider-Man fight, because Goblin, he throws the bombs, Peter, he saves those two people who are just looking up at the shit falling, and then he finally go Spider-Man mode, and like, but that's the detriment of the fight scene, is like it does kind of look like two Power Rangers fighting because they're both in full costume, and it's like, okay, like
I like when he fucked all those cops up. The Goblin.
I surrender. Oh boy, and then he beats all their ass. Yeah, and then there's the cool moment where he first saves that kid. The thing's falling. He's like,
"Come on, kid, move!"
Yeah, and then he fucking, "Hi, baby!" And he catches him. I mean, and it's all really cool, and like there's the fight, and then they go up on the glider and they're fighting up there, and then Spider-Man does like a handspring until like he rips out the.
I think he just punches it.
Yeah, but he does like a back handspring into that. It's like a little like goofy ass move.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah.
And then
We'll meet again, Spider-Man.
Mary Jane falls, and he does the thing that, but like, give him credit because, you know, like in the comics, he webs her neck would break, you know, so he falls, meets her, grabs her, and then webs. It's like, okay, like, Sam Raimi's clearly read some comics, you know, like, and then
you get the one shot where MJ's holding on to him,
yeah,
and her hair's blowing the wrong way,
yeah,
little things like that,
and then they go up on the roof, and
the obvious trampoline is obvious,
and then you can even see her like run around it, and then like come up with like, I like their little exchange where like,
who are you?
Yeah,
your friendly neighborhood Spider-Man.
You know who I am.
I do?
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, and then he cuts to Harry at the apartment like, incredible.
What do you mean he's incredible?
Oh, I'm gonna come over because I want to come over. Okay, and then he's like,
I'll buy you something
because I want to buy you something. Like,
it'll make you feel better.
You just can tell they're kind of like, she doesn't want to hear any of this shit.
Yeah.
And he's like, what are you, incredible? Like, and then Peter's just like smiling, like, it's so awesome. Good.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then like you get kind of more like throughout the movie the back and forth where like Green Goblin, like it's Norman waking up, and like you do get a lot of cool scenes of like the fucking he has all these like tribal masks, and it's like
don't forget about the scene where Norman finds out that the glider was stolen because he doesn't realize it's him.
That's earlier in the movie where like, and then they tell him Dr. Schramm's dead.
What?
Yeah. I think he destroyed the lab too. I'm pretty sure.
The lab's gone, and so's the glider. He's like, what?
Yeah. But then it's finally, I don't remember at what point in the movie, but it's finally like, I would say like the mask, and he hears the voice over here, and he turns,
looks in the mirror,
and it's him. And
great performance, by the way.
Yeah, and he has the newspaper, and like he did it. It's so like good, and like yeah, your greatest creation. Like yeah, it's really good. And that's when finally he kind of realizes that like he is the Goblin, and that he has this like split personality now.
And I believe after that we get Goblin going to the Bugle.
Yeah, so like he has the newspaper. He looks at it, and it's like, we got to figure out like basically like he's got to figure out how to get to Spider-Man. Maybe it's through the Daily Bugle.
And he sees who took the photo, and it's Parker.
Yeah, so then he goes to the.
Oh no, he doesn't. Maybe not, but he goes to the Bugle and asks who.
No, so yeah, so it doesn't say Parker, but it just says Bugle. So then Peter and Jameson have like an exchange, and like, I told you he's not. I told you he's not a menace. Is that in that movie? I get them confused sometimes. All of the Bugle scenes from 2 and 1. Yeah. So with Peter and him have like an exchange, and like Peter like kind of walks out, and then Jameson throws a cigar out the window, and then it comes back, and he's like, and then the glass breaks, and Peter's there, and he takes off, and Jameson covers for him.
He's kind of a real one for that one.
Yeah, because like
he asks him who's the photographer that takes the pictures of Spider-Man.
I don't know who he is.
I swear he sends us stuff in the mail.
You're lying. And then Spider-Man comes down. What does he say?
Why don't you let the grown-ups talk for a minute or something?
Yeah, hey, well, because Jameson says, cause I forget what he says to Goblin.
Spider-Man, I knew you two were this together.
Yeah, he webs his mouth, and then he says that, and then silly, dude, like it's so goofy, but it's so good. And then you get the great scene of like he wakes up,
wake up, little spider,
you're not dead,
not yet.
And then they get it's just a really good exchange of like basic Goblin like trying to get him to join with him. And then just telling him, like, we're not so different.
I'm nothing like you. You kill innocent people or something.
No, he's like, I'm nothing like you. You're a murderer. And then basically he kind of just, like, brushes that aside. And the thing people love more than a hero is to see your hero fail. Die trying.
Yeah.
And then, yeah, because basically he tells them, like, it's almost like a Dark Knight thing, like you either, die a hero or you live long enough to see yourself become the villain, type of thing.
But then he basically leaves Peter there and is like,
choose, your choice, hero.
Yeah.
Like giving him the option, like either join me or I'm going to kill you, kind of thing. I forget what happens, but then they kind of have a second meeting where he goes, there's the building on fire.
You get the thing with the police chief.
Yeah, the baby, like,
my baby's in there.
Yeah, and he's I'll see you when you come out. I'm not coming back, Chief.
Go!
Yeah, and he gets in there.
Dun, 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 dun. And he goes in the fucking window.
He gets the baby. Oh yeah, he gets the baby, and then like he goes back because there's someone else in there. And then that's when you hear the lady like crying.
It's the Goblin.
And he fucking turns around. Yeah, and then basically like, what did you choose? And like, I forget what he said.
Are you in or out? It's you who's
It's
out,
out,
Gobby.
Gobby.
Out of your mind. Wrong answer. And he throws the fucking thing.
And then that's when you first see those bombs too, like the spike bombs, or whatever you want to call them.
They break into like
blades
that fly.
And he's dodging them.
Yeah.
And
he gets.
Yeah,
he gets cut on the forearm, and then he does that like Matrix fucking thing. And then I think he like hits the Goblin into a wall or something, but then he's gone. And then so they dip. And then
oh no, he hits him in a wall and then he leaves.
Yeah.
And then remember, there's the scene of the Goblin and it's like,
no one says no to me.
Yeah. And then we get the Thanksgiving scene, dude. And this scene has been broken down like constantly. There's people who even talk about like, well, Peter's wearing green and Goblin's wearing blue and red, and then you have MJ who's wearing the black to try to like, it's all like everyone's colors are like, they all mean something, and just even the dynamics of like Norman comes in with the fruitcake, and then they hear Peter, and like they go.
I didn't know he was home, and then so Norman goes to look. No one's there.
Slob,
but
isn't he? All
brilliant men are. Yeah.
Yeah. And he's about to walk, and Peter's on top of the ceiling, and then the one drop of blood hits the ground.
He hears it.
He hears it. Like it's.
He looks up and he's not there.
Yeah.
And then he looks at the balcony. He's under the fucking balcony.
It's so ridiculous, but it's awesome.
Yeah.
Like, and then he comes in through the front door. He's got the cranberry sauce. And he's like, I had to beat an old lady with a stick to get this.
So many good lines.
Yeah. And then we get Norman, will you do the honors? He's like sharpening the knife,
honing.
Yeah, and then and I think he goes to grab a piece, and she slaps his hand. And then
that's when she asks him.
Yeah, and he's like cut the fucking turkey, and then that's when he sees the cut on his arm.
What happened?
A bike messenger knocked me down. And that's when he's like,
he figures it out right there.
Yeah, I have to go, and then.
Everyone's like, leave? Why? There's something I have to take care of or something.
Enjoy the fruitcake.
Then Harry goes in the hallway, and then Norman just totally becomes it.
It's like
cock.
It's like I'm trying to impress you. Like, is what he says is like, what does he say? Oh, she's beautiful. They're all beautiful. Your mother was beautiful too. And then
come.
Like something about dogs, he said.
Like a pack of wolves after your trust fund.
Yeah, they come like a pack of dogs after. And then she's like. What did he say? Do her fast.
Do what you need. You want some advice? Do what you need to with her, then broom her fast. And then closes the fucking door.
Harry like comes.
But MJ could hear all of it.
And then Harry comes in and he's like, "You heard that? I hear everything that creep was saying. That creep is my father, and if I'm half the man, he's able.
If I'm lucky, I'll be half of what he is.
So keep your mouth shut about stuff you don't understand, Harry Osborn." And then
MJ leaves.
Yeah. Then you just have. Them and Peter's just like you know, and then we get is that when Goblin says attack his heart?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so he's having this crisis because now he knows
it's Peter,
and the Goblin Mask is talking to him by the fire.
Great,
so good. First we attack his heart.
Yep.
Tell me how. Yeah, so good. And then you have
a great warrior attacks neither body nor mind.
Yeah.
Like, what?
Because and it makes sense because he has all these warrior masks. He obviously studies this kind of shit.
Yeah.
And it's his logical half is talking to him basically, which is also crazy. But and then you get fucking M.A. praying. Have you ever seen the future clip of that where it's March Madness by Future?
No.
I have to show you after we're recording, dude.
Okay.
It's
lead us not into temptation, but deliver us.
And she's praying, and then the ball explodes, and it's I'm not gonna rap the fucking song, but it's the song's playing. But Goblin comes through while she's praying. Finish it.
Deliver us from evil.
Yeah. Then it cuts them in the hospital, and Peter's like, "Hey man. Those eyes, those horrible yellow eyes," and then
he realizes it was the Goblin.
Who I am.
Yeah. So then he immediately calls MJ.
Well, no, because MJ comes and visits.
So does Harry.
She brings flowers. They hold hands, and Harry sees, and that's kind of the official end of their relationship.
But MJ's Aunt May's secretly awake the whole time.
And then Harry goes home to Norman and it's "You're right, Dad. You're right about everything. She's in love with Peter." And that's when it clicks for him oh, it's and he tells he always has been since
they hug it, but really Norman's I'm gonna fucking
I'm gonna fucking kill her.
Yeah.
And then M.A. wakes up and is talking to Peter a little bit and is basically saying you look tired. You're not Superman, you know, and I saw MJ here earlier. You guys are cute together is basically what she says. And then that's when he gets the phone call or whatever.
He calls MJ. Doesn't MA tell him to call her?
I call her. And he goes to the payphone and then...
Can SpiderMan come out? Where is she? And then you get, I believe it's the people on the, trolley or...
Well, yeah, it's the bridge and the trolley and then it's him... exploding all that shit with his
Yeah.
he's singing the song, and then out came the goblin to draw the spider out, basically. Like, he's trying to get him, he's goading him to come out and face him one-on-one. So then he takes the trolley, and dude, it's like straight out of
A
comic book. Like,
well, first Spider-Man like launches himself with the flagpoles,
and then, like, that's what I mean too. Just the little like Raimi things. Like, that's like a Raimi Spider-Man thing, is launching himself off the flagpoles. Like, that's like synonymous with that Spider-Man. You know what I mean? Like,
to the point where they put it in Spider-Man 2, the game.
Yeah. Well, I think even just like, and you know what's another thing that's also very synonymous with Raimi's Spider-Man is like the American flag imagery. It's very interesting.
Yeah.
Like, but yeah, so he launches himself to the bridge, and then that's when you get, basically like Goblin speaking of riddles again, like fucking.
But he's got MJ in one hand, and he's got a trolley full of people on a rope in the other.
I can't remember. He's like, it's what happens when a hero is faced with a choice, like something like that is what he says. And basically tells him, so now
you must choose, and he lets them both go. You get the fucking best shot.
Don't
ever.
do it, Gabby or Goblin. Fucking.
You get the best shot ever, where it's a super close up on Peter's mask, and in one lens you have MJ falling, and in the other you have the people. And he saves both of them, dude.
Yeah,
he saves MJ first, and then he swings back around to grab the fucking rope of the trolley. And he's holding on to everybody.
And then it's basically like Goblin's like circling him, and he keeps coming back to try to attack him.
You get that like quick shot of the Goblin where he realizes he saves both. He's like, ah,
yeah. And then you gotta climb down, and then
I can't. MJ, you have to.
Peter, dude, we skipped the best part of the movie.
Oh
my god! What are we doing?
That was before the Thanksgiving scene, right?
Yeah, I think so. Where because she talks when they're at Aunt May's hospital bed. She's talking about how she has a crush on somebody, and it's Spider-Man. Like, oh,
because that shit happened before.
He's pretty cool, and like she's like, and then he even says like,
oh yeah,
dude,
we're stupid as hell.
He even says that
there's the whole scene where MJ's like leaving work and it's raining, and Peter.
Yeah, they kind of like
they meet.
Yeah, and she's like, I was just in the neighborhood, but he probably was following her. Like, trying to keep an eye on her. But like, it's just implied, and he's like, and basically she says she has to go because she's meeting up with Harry or something like that. And then right away it starts raining, and then but you see like even Peter catches it right away. The two guys like they look at each other and they follow her. And it's like it's goofy, but it's really good. Where it's like they're all like smooshing at her, like barking.
Yeah.
And like he's like,
but you see Peter like taking his clothes off and shit on the roof.
Yeah, he doesn't even have his full costume on.
Everything but the mask, I think.
Yeah, he's trying to get there quick, and then
he fucks those dudes up.
Yeah, beats their ass, fucking like the double fist punch. Yeah, and then he like I love the shot too where everyone's on the ground and he like looks and he like walks into the alley.
It's the lighting was perfect because you can't tell it's Peter, but he's maskless.
Yeah,
but you still can't tell.
It's like his silhouette basically.
Yeah, and she's running up to him and he fucking dips.
Yeah, and then he
comes back down. And then you get the iconic, and then upside down kiss.
He like goes up and it's just the rain falling on her, like fucking Kirsten Dunst's tits out. Yeah, like Raimi's like, let's zoom in on that.
Yeah.
No bra. So we skipped over that, but
anyway,
it's just we had to bring it up because that's like one of the highlights of the movie.
Great scene.
It's really fucking good. I like seeing Spider-Man take care of like street level crime too. It's awesome. But yeah, so we come back.
Talk about Spider-Man 2. Man.
Yeah, so then we get we go back to that scene we were talking about where the boats also come in like, hold on up there, we're coming.
We'll get underneath and you can lower it.
Yeah, and she's trying to climb down.
But while that's happening, the Goblin is like, he comes by and he's like hitting Peter, and every time he hits him, he's losing a little bit. But then you get that great scene too of all the people on the bridge. Mm-hmm. They're throwing shit at Goblin.
Yeah, it's New York coming to like it's once again.
You mess with one of us, you mess with all of us.
Yeah, it's really good.
It's good.
And then so then finally he's not gonna make it.
He's gonna make it.
He just lowers it down, and then
everyone cheers.
Goblin has like a wire, and he like swings it around him, and he gets fucking like tossed into this like abandoned church building.
A set.
And then this is it's a set, but once again this is
One of my favorite
superhero fights, and like and once again, you're never gonna get something like this again.
No.
Unless it's like a Wolverine type fight, but like just like two real motherfuckers like actually punching, and like it's the great.
His suit gets fucked up.
It's such a good shot when like the bomb comes in, and it's the classic Rami zoom in on the eye, and you see it,
the reflection and
and he gets launched back. And, yeah, and
like the eye, his eye is showing. You know, it's great.
What makes the scene too is just how like it's PG-13 obviously, but like it's very brutal. Like you all the like cracks and like of like ribs, or like just the punches sound like it's like a whip sound.
Goblin is beating his ass,
and then even like Toby's reactions where he's getting like hit, like so yeah, he comes in, misery, misery, misery. That's what you chose it.
It's great, man. I offered you friendship.
Right in his
spat
ribs.
in my face.
And then he breaks the wall, and then
Peter tries to like web him up.
Dude, I don't remember when it is. He falls on the ground. Is it when he punches him? And Toby's like he makes like you feel like you hear the air like leaving his. And then that's when Goblin does the fucking craziest shit. He like does a jump, twist,
front flip
into a punch, and you're like, what the fuck?
Boom! You get that slow-mo punch.
Oh yeah, and like all this. Like,
and then he does a running dive kick and kicks him into the wall, and that's when you get the monologue. You spun your last web, Spider-Man.
Yeah, because like you said, he keeps trying to web him, and he like, and then like the first thing, it's like wire that he's breaking. Like it's not like how you think his web would be, but I like it in the scene. It fits, you know. And then what did he say? He's talking about MJ. MJ and I. What he's like, I'm gonna finish her. Nice. And he says it kind of like a lisp. Slow.
MJ and I.
And he has the blades, and then that's when shit gets serious because he gets
have a hell of a time.
Catches it.
Right? It's like an inch away, dude. He catches that shit,
and you can see like he's overwhelmed.
Throws his ass. Then Peter fucks him up.
Basically, like he drops the wall onto him. And then
he trips him. Then he
comes swinging in, grabs him, and it's just like picks him up,
gets him back up, punches him. He does it like 5 times, and then finally Norman's like, "Stop! It's me."
Peter, wait, it's me.
Yeah. He takes the mask off. It's Norman.
I mean, 18-year-old Toby Peters soloing Green Goblin, most powerful Spider-Man. Just saying.
Yeah. Tom had a problem. So.
Yeah. Older, more experienced Tom Holland. Well, no, he's not older, but more experienced for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude. He basically like he's telling him about it, like it was the Goblin. It wasn't me. I would never hurt those people. I would never hurt you. I've been like a father to you.
Be a son to me now.
I had a father.
His name was Ben Parker.
Godspeed, Spider-Man. And then you get
his spider sense
glider.
He fucking backflips and impales him like right in the groin.
Yeah, don't tell Harry. Yeah, and then you have he drops him off basically, and like, what have you done? Harry sees him, and then you're gonna get the funeral scene, and it's a very interesting moment because a lot of things are at play at once. Where like Mary Jane is finally like realizes that he's the one that's always been there for her. She wants to them to be together. She kisses him, and it's a very unexpected moment when he says no, like, I can't be there for you. And he like walks away, and it's like and especially like you're not expecting that, and especially 2002, like
no, because the hero's supposed to get the girl, and he turns her down to protect her,
and then she like kind of like. The kiss feels similar. Like it's, you know, like you're not gonna suspect your fucking friend is Spider-Man, but it's like something about it. Like you get that one shot where she's like, you know what I mean, and then you assume like she kind of forgot about it. Like, you know, he's not fucking Spider-Man. It's stupid. Like it's Peter Parker, you know. And then yeah, dude. And then you get the ending monologue, and he's like, I forget exactly. He's like, you know, I forget the ending monologue of that movie.
Yeah, me too.
It's basically like, you know, great power comes great responsibility, and then he someone told me once. That's what he says. Yeah, and then you get the montage of him swinging, and then the American flag.
Yeah.
Good shit, man.
And you get Chad Kroeger.
I am so high.
Yeah.
Feel like for I don't know the song, but it's good.
Perfect song.
Yeah, and like I said about this movie, dude, like at the end of the day, the problems with it are really not the movie's fault, I think.
The problems with the movie, like, to me, don't outweigh the good shit. And I love, it's a solid movie. Oh, I was about to say something, but I can't because we have to talk about Spider-Man 3 before I give my ratings.
Oh, really? So you don't want to give a rating yet?
Do you?
No, I think we'll hold off because this is already going way over, so we're gonna have to cut this into 3 parts.
We're gonna do 3 parts because we have a lot to say about each movie.
Yeah. So I think we'll hold out on the ratings because we can, you know, once we do 3, we'll kind of, because I'm interested to see like if I know my opinion of 3 is a little bit different than it used to be. I think I have like mostly the same opinion.
My ranking of them is still the exact same.
Okay, then I know what it is.
Yeah.
But I'm still curious what the score is going to be.
Is yours the same?
Yeah.
Okay, so then yeah, we have the same.
We have the same thoughts. I mean, the score is just more for fun, and I'm more curious to see like the final rankings too, like because maybe we'll do the Spider-Verse movies too, like
yeah, why not?
We'll kind of. I don't have as much to say about those. I don't think, but because they're just good. They're good.
Did you?
We saw one of them.
Yeah. Okay.
We were baked as fuck. We went to go see. Dude, it was such a weird choice because we did a double feature one in the summer. We saw Spider-Verse first, or did we see Indiana Jones first? No, we saw Spider-Verse first, and
then we saw Indy.
And we're like, this is a bad idea because, like, you know, like I think like we smoked or something. We ate an edible. I can't remember.
It was the edibles.
Yeah, and then they like kicked in during and like Spider-Verse, very visually intense movie, and
then when we got to Indy, I was like.
Yeah, like,
this movie sucks so bad.
The movie already sucks, and then, like, coming down from a high,
it's just
like,
not good.
Yeah, dude, that movie was fucking terrible.
Bad. Do you want to see The Fall Guy?
Yeah, I'm probably gonna see that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, if you want to see it, like, I'm down to go one of these days. I definitely.
One of these days.
Dude, you know what I want to see? Hitman. Have you seen the trailer for that with Glenn Powell? It's directed by Richard Linklater.
No.
Dude, you gotta watch the trailer. It looks really. I've heard good things.
Is it coming out soon?
So yeah, it's coming out June 7th in theaters, and then it's going to Netflix. It's like a Netflix produced movie. Well, they just bought the rights to it, but it was kind of circling the film festivals last year, and a lot of like the film guys I saw it and they really liked it. But I really like Linklater. Like he did School of Rock.
Oh yeah.
He did Dazed and Confused, which I finally watched last month.
Oh, you haven't seen till right now?
I just watched it for the first time.
What do you think?
It was really good.
It's funny, right?
Really good hangout movie. Like the plot does not even matter.
No, it doesn't.
I love Ben Affleck in that movie. Like this is like the biggest fucking asshole. Like just like he's like this super senior like that's
great.
Like picking out freshmen, and like the soundtrack's great.
Yeah.
It's like, and like the story, like who even really gives a fuck?
It doesn't matter. It's just about the characters.
The last day of school.
Yeah.
Great vibes. I want to watch more of his movies. Have you ever heard of like the Before trilogy with Ethan Hawke? It's like this romance trilogy. It's like Before Sunset, Before Sunrise, and Before. I can't remember what the other one is. Oh, I'm drawing a blank. But it's like this. It's Ethan Hawke and this one lady, and they're all like 10 years apart. The movies. And it's kind of like their relationship over time. I've heard it's really good. He directed that. But I watched, so The Hitman with Glenn Powell, it's like, all I know about it is that he's someone who like is hired as a hitman, but he's like impersonating a hitman.
Oh, that's great.
So he's like playing different characters every time. Like he's like, you gotta watch the trailer. I'll show you after this. It looks really good. So I'm looking forward to that. I do want to see The Fall Guy. So I filmed the whole video. I wanted to talk about this. I filmed a whole fucking video about the series I wanted to start about movies that I've been like first time watches, things I'd never seen before. It's supposed to be shorter form content because these videos are pretty long, and it still came out at like over 40 minutes. So I'm gonna rework it, but I will come out with a TikTok about the movies I watched. But I watched that. I watched Raising Arizona for the first time with Nicolas Cage.
Yeah.
I watched Old Boy. I told you about that.
I still gotta see it.
That movie's fucking amazing.
I didn't realize there was a remake of that with
Spike Lee and Josh Brolin.
Josh Brolin.
I heard it's bad.
Oh, it's not good.
I mean, I've just heard that it's kind of like copying the first movie, but just worse. Is kind of what I heard.
Okay.
Just watch the OG one. I mean,
Okay.
it's fucking good. Yeah, I can get into all the shit I watched last month, but I think we're gonna wrap it up.
Yeah.
But you'll see part 2 should be coming out pretty soon after this one.
Mm-hmm.
We'll be talking about Spider-Man 2. Till next time.
Peace.
Peace.